That's so fast. Wow. I'm just sitting here. I'll start that song over so you hear that too. Man, God, this phone is so fast. I need to have my stuff together, people. I'm not, not fast as the phone. So I haven't even. Man, what can you say? Let's roll with it. The show must go on. Let's see. I got one in the room already. Bam! It's this world. Let's see. Driver hands up. Surrender. Look, I'm not going to give a fight. I'm not the guy that's out there on the radio going, "They'll never take me alive. Come on." That's not me. But I passed him earlier today. He was, yeah. I I gotta tell you, that's funny. That's funny. Hands up, driver. So I'm glad you like that. So I'm fixing to choose a fine cigar, and we were going to talk about here what's going on with YouTube. Not me, not necessarily my channel, even though that's the scheduling part, but YouTube itself is chopping heads. And what they're doing is, are they cannibalizing themselves? Are they, chopping off their own hands despite their face? I don't know what you'd call it, but it's a computer program. It's not their fault kind of thing. So I wanted to bring this up because some people have really had their feelings hurt by being demonetized on their channel. And it is an emotional roller coaster for these people because they've devoted so much time and effort. I mean, I have too, but I mean, let's be real about some stuff real quick. I make a living, okay, sometimes when they let me. No, but I make a living driving a truck. There's people who are full-time YouTubers who are, and I'll give you a little bit different view here. I'm going to give you a up view here, okay? That's a better view. Through my dirty windshield. I was waiting until it cooled off. That's what truckers do when there's bugs and stuff. You wait till it cools off and then you clean it when it's cold. So they're like baked on at this point. Hit a few at the last couple 15, 20 miles. I'd already cleaned it. So let me turn this down so I'm not talking over it. Like I said, there's a broad spectrum of things I can talk about this YouTube thing. But there's people who have devoted their lives at this point to just making a check off YouTube, and it's gut-wrenching to watch them and watch what's going on. It's like, man, they were doing good, they were fixing to be, they're not exactly PewDiePie, but even PewDiePie says he's with, it's kind of funny, he says he's not trying to grow his fan base. He's already got everybody. He's got 7.2 billion people on the planet. Everybody's got a computer. I think the first thing they do is they set up a Gmail, and then it sends them right to his page and says subscribe now to PewDiePie. But so my joke is he couldn't possibly get any more unless they just unless the population increases, then he will increase his fan base. But there's people who are out there who have channels and have made it their job because they started getting a check from YouTube and it started to become lucrative, and they found that as a good revenue stream, and they decided, hey, we're going to do this full time, okay, which is everybody's dream. I mean, I'm looking to set up a podcast because I know the commercials will be there, and it won't be something that's going to judge me. It's not going to be something like YouTube can hit a switch, right? If you have your own website, it's more like being an owner-operator than being a company driver. You have a lot more control over what's going on, and if you lost the ad, that's one thing. But if you have your own website, then you're in control of everybody who advertises on there. So for those people who have put all their eggs in one basket and they're only on YouTube, or even if there are other social media places, but they get revenue from YouTube and it's big, it's gut-wrenching to watch these people that are like, get in touch with Twitter and tell them about my channel. I put a whole playlist together that was just devoted to, I called it What's Going On, and I haven't even touched the surface of it, of how many people have been demonetized for no reason and stupid reasons. Well, they built an algorithm program within YouTube that searches out. The whole design of the thing in the first place was to search out either putting up inappropriate, things that are, not G-rated, that kind of stuff on YouTube, to get that off there. And then also that's the first of many orders of business for them doing that. The other thing after that, let's see, let me pause this here for 1 second until I make sure that that's something I'm wanting to play. After that, the second order of business that they put into it was to have people who are taking other people's content and just solely, like, for movies. Like, if you're sitting there playing a movie and you're not doing anything talking about it or even giving commentary, but you're playing a movie and you're recording it. Now, I am going to design something, by the way, I'll talk about that in a minute, to help me better show with no movement, no shaking or anything, because I've got one camera mount. It's right here. You come live from the ceiling, like I showed how I put a tripod upside down and mounted it from my ceiling with carabiners and paracord. And I have other mounts. I've got a tripod, right? And it's not working so well for me for what I'm trying to do. Here's a tripod with another mount. And the plan was to set it up there and then zoom in and be able to get a shot of news. Well, that's a little too far away, not clear enough for me, and I'm picky. So the plan is I'm going to take a piece of aluminum and drill it and make 2 camera mounts. I'm giving it to you here, people. I'll tell you what I'm doing so you can do it too. I'm going to make it about a foot long, maybe 10 inches long piece of aluminum by 4 inches, drill holes in it, and I'm going to mount 2 camera mounts with 2 cameras with the 2 devices, phones, where the cameras are facing each other. This one, okay, camera A, the camera is over here. It's going to be moved over and centered, so the hole I drilled is going to have to be over here in case you're making one. The other one can be centered because the screen's going to be centered, and it'll be about 10 inches away so that the zoom factor doesn't do this, and I got that covered for you. And I'm going to mount it to this so I can just slide a phone in when there's news, and bam, you got it clear as day, just like if you're watching on your TV, almost in HD. So, like I was saying, that's one thing. What they're having a problem with is people actually playing movies that are like just full on DVDs and stuff and putting them up on YouTube and having them as clear as they can put them, or even screen. There's a way you can play a computer screen at the same time you're watching something, and putting that movie up or pieces of it and stuff and being monetized. It's not so much they have a problem with you even putting that up. It's just they can't see monetizing you if it's someone else's content. I had a problem with somebody stole my content, thought they put it up as their own, that kind of thing, and I could have destroyed their channel. I still could. The point is this. It's one of those things where you're supposed to give props to the person that put it up in the first place, and there is fair use. Okay, if you're just doing commentary on it, if you chop it up and make it your own, if you put it and put your own watermark in it and you're claiming it as yours, that's wrong. And they don't want to monetize. They don't want to reward you for bad behavior, basically. So, and they have a certain amount of ads. Now mine is monetized, and at some point where it is possible you could watch some of my videos. They're not all monetized. I don't have time. I don't even tag them right. I don't even put good thumbnails. I'm probably the worst YouTuber out there. My videos are not, majestic works of art. It's not a music video by any stretch of imagination. I'm putting my knowledge out there, and that's why people are here. It's not because of my videography skills, okay? But I do have a nice camera mount. But the point is, what I'm doing is not the greatest videography. Hang on a second, I got a comment here. I use ad blocker. I got you. Yeah, well, hey, and see, in that point, then you watch my stuff for free, and I'm not blaming you for it. I think that's good too, whatever. So, whatever floats your airplane. but still, I'm glad you're here. You know, but what I was saying is, as far as the whole ad revenue thing, they like I said, there's people on here who do their own content, and it's all creative and stuff. Mine's just informational, I guess you'd call it that. And I'm trying to continue. And you see it by the picture there. I have a clock that's not like a normal person's clock that goes 8 to 5 and hits a time card. I can't just schedule, especially when you run night, day, day, night, whatever, because things are messed up. I'm trying to get a little bit better of a schedule, maybe start early in the morning, you know, and then in the afternoon do a live, or do one in the morning. And as a heads up, tomorrow I'm looking to go live. If anybody wants to add to the you know, the banter and the paint and in the comments and help with this, sometime tomorrow, I make no promises, probably tomorrow late night, I'm going to do a live on parts you should have, spare parts you should have in your truck and tools. I have not been able to video them, so I'm just gonna put them out there and you can take notes, or you can listen to the video and learn from it. So I'm giving you heads up. And I can't schedule lives because of the DOT hours that, you know, I fall under. And if there's not a trailer available like the other day, and things hold me up, you don't want to start your clock. Everybody's scared to start their clock now at this point. That's the truth. So you don't want to start your clock and you've done started a 14-hour clock, and then you have to shut down at a certain time, and you've got to maximize your money and your hours and your time and everything else. You got to be an accountant of hours and time. So it's hard to schedule a live, but I am going to tell you sometime tomorrow that's what it'll be, is on parts, and I will be live. But as far as the videography and stuff, I'm not, this new device is nice and it's going to be good, but what I do is not what they're really looking to shut down. However, if that algorithm shuts my channel, my monetization off, it'd probably tick me off too. But there is remedy for that. If that happens to you, you can go and, you know, appeal it or whatever. And they have just recently, YouTube hired 10,000 people. That's a lot of people, because they know that the algorithm is that bad, to go in and manually review people's channels to see if, hey, maybe we shouldn't have cut off their monetization or whatever. Like I said, mine's still good. And I don't, like I said, I don't tag my videos the greatest. I'll come back like 3 weeks later, and I'll be like, or a week later, and I'll be like, hey, I should tag that something. So sometimes my videos get like 5 views, and then I tag it, and then it's got like 150 in like 5 minutes. It's a lot about tagging. It's a lot about thumbnails, but the way I see it is, it's kind of like I've gotten some better thumbnails, like the picture I just took and all that kind of stuff. But the truth is, I'm not that great in advertising or video editing or these things, and I don't claim to be. I'm not a cinematographer. You're not going to see MGM and a lion roaring and the greatest video movie that you ever seen in your life coming from my channel. But what I'm trying to put up is so good that there are people following it for the reason of what I'm putting up, and I'm trying to get better. So I'm always trying to improve. Like I said, I'm going to drill that piece of aluminum, make it so that the screen's not shaky, and the other camera will sit right here, and you'll have a clear view of what's going on in the news. I'll have a slide-in thing, not just a clamp. So I'm going to put a slide and mount it like that. But so for anybody who wants to do it, I'll show what it is, just like I showed my tripod. Just, you know, but if you, like I was saying, YouTube already has so many hurdles to jump through, and they keep moving the goalpost, it seems like, because now somehow Kid is able to go live. I'm not sure exactly how, but for everybody that I've dealt with before and talked to, and by the rules of service, you have to have like 1,000 subscribers before you can hit the live button from a mobile device. You can do it though from a laptop connected to Wi-Fi with a small camera built into your laptop, or with a webcam, if that's what you want to do. You can do that. Or from maybe a tablet that's got a camera in it. You can do that. So Wi-Fi, though, honestly, you're better off tethering from a telephone. If you have a phone, go into your settings, go into connections, and then uh, set up a set up a hotspot. Don't go into Wi-Fi. Set up tethering. Okay, make it a mobile hotspot. And if you make your phone a mobile hotspot and you have to have a code to punch in, nobody else can get on it. And then you have your own Wi-Fi. And you pay for that data, you're paying like probably 20, 25 bucks a month rather than paying every single truck stop $5 a pop. So that's the trick. Don't pay for all this Wi-Fi stuff. Even if you have points on your card and it's like $5 for it at the Loves or whatever, and you're on their Wi-Fi is slow. Their Wi-Fi is, everybody's on it. And you're paying way more for it if you figure every time it's $5. That's insane. Tether your mobile device, make it a hotspot, and then connect to it from your other device as if you were connecting to a hotspot, because you are. Right now, I've got a device connected to this device, and I'm live off of it at the same time. The other night, I had 4 devices connected. One was a laptop, so I'm like, geez, I can do all that. So I'm learning myself what I can do, and I'm learning that I can go on. There's a thing called Google Hangouts that somehow that works if you have either. I think you have to have Chrome, and you have to have something set up on your computer that requires Windows 7. You have to have I need a newer laptop to do that, and then you can have like up to 100 people. Now they're not all going to get extra little boxes in the whole screen, but yet you can have up to 100 people in a live stream. Like, you could do it split where there's 2. You can have it where it looks like all the Brady Bunch. But you're not going to get 100 people in one screen. So you can alternate between people. I'm learning that I've got to, at some point, figure out how to do that. You could also use a different way. I'm going to show an app on video conferencing and stuff. But as far as hooked up to take, I found out I can take a phone call on this thing and also tether another device and use the other device that's tethered as the live device. So I'm using the phone and using it as a hotspot, and then connecting another device to it and then going live from that other device. So other than that, there's other platforms. There's one thing that I can go to that's going to be hooked up to several different platforms. You can go live on I don't know if Twitter has a live. You can go Instagram live. You can go live on Twitch. You can go live on DTube and YouTube all at the same time by going live on one place. And I got to figure out how to do that. But the point is, people are getting demonetized and they're wanting to look at other ways of doing things. And they've put all their eggs in one basket. YouTube being the one that pays. And other places, Twitch, I think, and maybe D Live does pay. I'm not sure. Twitter tried to do a live, and I think they are pay or something, and then Facebook tried to pay, and they didn't do it all that well. There's been some other places, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a website, and I'm going to set up for a live. That's man, I've said this word 1,000 times. Can't think of it right now. It just slips my mind. Been a long day. Basically a podcast. Yeah. So I'm looking to set up a podcast for myself. But as far as scheduling and this kind of stuff, like I said, it's so impossible because of my hours. That's why I'm like right now, kind of late putting one up, but I figure, hey, nobody's live right now and nobody's going to care. And I've got people that'll come in later. I'll have I've hit lives where I've actually, for some reason, the default setting is unlisted, and so it's not really live, but it's handy. Then it's better than trying to fill up a phone with a bunch of data and then trying to upload it and waiting forever. And now it seems it's going to be a little easier for my lives because I can hit a button and it's almost instant. Everywhere I've tried it, I've got instant live. So I don't know if maybe, welcome to the NS of A, right? Maybe they like me. Maybe something's going on, but somehow I think I've finally caught up to speed with these other people that have YouTube channels, which I'd say caught up to speed with them. So I'm trying to catch my dust because honestly, I haven't been here that long, but it has been spread a lot, and what I'm doing seems to resonate with people that are kind of real and trying to learn about trucking. And I'm not showing me behind the seat belt, saying, "Look at where I'm at," and then watch a video for 4 hours and I might teach you something. No, for the most part, I'm putting it out there. That's why I said these lives, even if you don't like my lives, just go to Fix It Vids and Trucking Tips. That's what you need straight out the gate out of CDL school, that they don't teach you. They give you a license to learn. They give you a license to drive a truck, but they could care less if you broke down on the side of the mountain. So that's why I'm doing the parts thing tomorrow. Another reason why I'm doing it. Now, if you're a company driver, you're thinking, oh, I don't need any parts. The test you took in driving a truck tells you that you're supposed to have fuses over there in that fuse box. Maybe you haven't checked that fuse box, but if you'll open up the door on it, you're going to have a tool to even get to your fuses to change them. So when a DOT officer says, why are you blocking traffic? You're broke down in the middle of everything and you can't change a fuse to make this thing work because it blew maybe the ECM fuse or whatever, and it's a fuse. Or if he even thinks, hey, did you even check your fuse box? A Torx head. This is a multi-tool. It's similar to an Allen pack. You have to have one of these to even get into that box over there. And if I could zoom, I'd show you it's a hole in the middle of it, and it's a star head. They call them Torx head. I'll try to get a bigger one and get you a better view with some light. You see that right there? You need that right there to even get into your glove box to change that fuse. What's the point in having fuses if you can't even change a fuse? And what's the point in having any tools at all if you can't have them all, right? So you need to be able to change airlines, because they're going to laugh at you. The DOT is going to say, you don't even have wrenches to change this, even if you could go over to that truck stop over there and buy airlines, and you're blocking up the highway. It's a 15-minute fix versus a $1,700 wrecker bill. Now, I understand these companies don't want you to touch their truck or whatever. They are paranoid about everything. They're also stupid because they don't know you're supposed to have fuses, and it takes a tool to even get into the fuse box. Pick you up one of these. This will be the starter set, right? This is your starter set for tools. Pick you up one of these. You can't even get into the fuse box and change for a cigarette lighter plug to plug in your GPS. What happens? You lose GPS because you popped a fuse. Are you listening now, people? You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing it to you. I'm being for real. That fuse is in there, in behind your glove box. You have to take 4 screws out and pull the whole glove box out. Then you take a Velcro strap out and you pull the plastic cover up to get to the fuses. I'll do a video on which one it is for both the cigarette lighter plugs down here and that wire up there for the radio at some point. I just thought I'd put this out here. Oh, and by the way, because I'm fixing to eat this is a commercial break. These are awesome. Epic Bison. Look, I'm Cherokee, but you don't have to be Native American to appreciate this. I'm just being for real. This is good stuff, man. I feel like I need and run off this. You might too. I don't know. I feel like I should be living off this. This is like a huge, big steak, right? Bison. Where else are you going to get buffalo? I picked this up at a Pilot. I think they have me some loves. But the point is, no, they're not really not paying me for a commercial. But the point is, that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I resonate with people, is because they know full well once they start hearing what I'm saying that they're like, oh crap, I do need to know that, right? So I'm gonna do a live tomorrow night or tomorrow day, probably late in the night, and I'm going to bring it to you about some parts. If somebody wants to chime in, that you're more than welcome to. That'll make it even better for the people that are trying to learn. I'm not trying to be famous. If I was, I would hit a button and you'd be looking at me instead of this beautiful view out here of just traffic going by. You know what I mean? So just a little mom and pop truck stop. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope they didn't demonetize your channel and they're not beating you up or whatever on it, but it's an algorithm, people. Don't take it personally. It's just an algorithm. You have recourse, and they have turned people's channels back on. I put up the notes that they had been cut so that people realize, hey, it can happen. They're putting up videos behind that saying, they turn mine back on. Some people haven't got it turned back on. Some people are still in the wait because there's 10,000 employees checking them, but they can't possibly check all the stuff, and everybody else is saying they should be allowed to monetize. And a lot of them are like in Lagos, Nigeria, and they're scamming everything else too, and they're putting movies up that they shouldn't be. That's not their content. So as far as YouTube goes, you know, I have a pretty good working relationship with them, and what I do is, you know, for the most part, I'm teaching, and they get it, and they know it's necessary. Really, it's kind of like, you know, that guy, you know, but doggone it, we got to keep him, you know, kind of thing. I don't know what else to say. Like I said, I'm not a popularity contest kind of person. If I was, if you look at, you know, my videos aren't, like I said, you don't see Star Wars lasers and swords and crap like that. The only sword I've got is this cigar right here, which I will show that. Look here, I'm fixing to have a JFR. When I first saw it, it looked like JFK. I think they pulled that label. I think that was the plan, was to do it like JFR. If you can see that. It's very difficult. This is not, like I said, built for this, but I'll try to zoom if I can. No, it's not going to do it. Anyways, JFR. It's a good cigar, and it's got that twist tie. This is a tip like Cuban, kind of a hand-rolled thing that they do. It's almost like sausages when they make it. It's a thing. People were looking for that in Cuba. That's what made that one guy. I'll put a link up to his videos. He started in Miami and wanted to have a tobacco rolling company. Hand rolled a bunch of them. Had everybody roll them. They used to take the furniture out of the house, move it out of the house, roll tobacco, and then put the furniture back in the house. That's what they had. So so yeah, that's the only sword I have is this one right here. And they say the pen is mightier than the sword. Well, I'd say a cigar is mightier than the pen. What I do is a little different. So like I said, but scheduling is difficult. Everything is hard to do as a trucker. It's hard to be a YouTuber. There's people that are putting up, you know, what their daily lives are and this and that, and that's fine. It's difficult to do what I'm trying to do, because if I take all the extra parts I have in my truck and set them out in front of my truck and video them and then put them all back in my truck, I've just wasted an hour and a half of my time where I've got to be rolling, and I'm on a 14-hour clock. So you see, that's why the sign comes into play in this video. I want to do that. That's how I want to put it out. That's why it's taking me so long to do it. I'm just going to have to do an audio one tomorrow. I'll do a visual one for people in other countries another time, but I will tag it best as I can, and I will translate it. So with that, I'm gonna hit some music real quick, and I don't even know what I was playing at this point. I've got, like I said, I've got everything tethered and all, but it's difficult to keep up on the tunes here and be able to talk at the same time. And so there's, you know, and this is no, I'm not trying to take no shots at other YouTubers or what they're doing. Everybody's got their own little, you know, thing, and they got people that follow them, and that's great. Do your thing. I support people doing their thing, you know. But I've found that I know what I'm going to have to do. And as far as a backup channel, I may set up a backup channel just in case of the event of a problem with mine. I don't foresee it, because like I said, let's see, how do you, let's see, you do you. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had to lean back to see that. I've got this camera like right here. So yeah, I appreciate that icon. Yeah, and that's why people are tuning in. You know, it's because I am being me, but it's what I do. It's what my content is, and it's difficult too, because things are popping up all the time, and I can't possibly keep up with all the news. But I try to keep as much news out there as I can on my radar screen, so that I can bring it to you and get you a pretty good idea what's affecting trucking. I'm worried about these dams breaking, Everybody's like taking bets on which, I mean, you're seeing it. I showed you a couple barges hit the other day. I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about these tornadoes. I just put up on my safety video of the day from back in, I think it was 2012. They showed where Schneider was hit with a tornado and it blew them way up in the sky, trailers. So if you think you're safe in a truck, not even in a truck stop if a tornado hits you. But you have to ride it out. You have nowhere to go. It's very dangerous. It's a difficult field to even be a truck driver, but that adds to it. It adds to the fear factor real good. And like even at this truck stop, the question is, where are you safer? In your truck, or walking up there to the truck stop and trying to hide in whatever they might have, right? What if it hit the truck stop and not the trucks? You never know. But it blew trailers clear up in the sky. And then it showed the aftermath of it. A guy did a different video. I put those two up on my safety video of the day playlist. I just added them. I don't know how it shows up to you people. I don't know how that works whenever I do that. I've had people tell me, hey, you just put up a video in that playlist. And then I've had people tell me that, you know, they're looking for my videos, and, you know. So I didn't name my channel Trucking because there's no G in trucking. It's just trucking, right? So I named it how I said it. So in doing that, I wiped out 100% of my audience before I got started. So I had to retrain people, tell them how to say trucking, and show them where my channel's at. And, you know, word of mouth is spread. That's why I've got what I've got, and where it's going. And so, but like I said, from the get-go, now you have to have 1,000 subscribers to go live, unless you do it on the other device like I talked about. You have to have 3,000 subscribers to monetize. That's crazy. From off the bat, you should be able to go live. I think that's like freedom of speech kind of thing. That's just my thing. And then if they demonetize your channel, I'm told, as far as scheduling, that's why I brought up the scheduling thing, you can't schedule lives at that point. I'm like, that's weird. So people are going around with them on Twitter. They're, you know, saying, hey, have all my subscribers tell them on Twitter. You know, not me. I'm good. But I'm saying there's people that are asking their subs to do it. And if that happened to me, I would. I'd probably say, hey, yeah, everybody go on Twitter and beat him up about old trucking stuff. You know, he's trying to do his little thing. But it's, then they get turned back on. And I guess that's what it takes, is the loudest voice gets the squeaky wheel gets the grease first. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to monopolize this with just me chatting. I know I'm telling some stuff, but I do want to play some stuff. So let's see what else we've got going on here. Look, the other day I rented a car. It was a little bit lower, and I never played this. So let's see if we can get into this real quick. There we go. So they don't Spotify it, I have to turn it down a little bit low. There we go. And I can still chat. I'll try to get some kind of a little playlist going. But yeah, I'm going to try to do a live tomorrow, and my scheduling is shot all the time. Anybody that's a driver knows that. You can't rely on yourself. You can't be. The hardest thing for a truck driver is to be at a certain place at a certain time. It drives me crazy. It'll drive you crazy too if you try to follow me and think, hey, he'll do a live this night or whatever. Not going to happen. Best thing, the only way that you can depend on me is to depend that you can't depend on me, as far as my schedule. Everything's crazy. Our checks rely on when we can run, and our running time relies on every single variable out there. Traffic, freaking, you know, weather. The other morning there was a really bad storm came through, and I just slept another 4 hours and just waited. You know, there's no reason to do anything. Lay back and go back to sleep. But at this point, like I said, scheduling, I'm going to try to do better about my own schedule anyhow, and then by de facto, it'll affect my lives and the time that I'm able to do stuff. And then this device right here is going to help me because it's instant live. So that way I'm not sitting there waiting for 45 minutes to an hour for a live stream, and then like, okay, now I've got hours, I got to run now, and then just cancel it out. or you don't get a screen that says waiting for truck and stuff. You were never waiting on me, people. You were waiting on my device, stream, internet, all that. That's like thing of the past, I guess. So, and if anybody's wondering what I'm running, it's like a Galaxy 7. It's a Droid. It's not iPhone 15. I haven't even had the iPhone 1, and it's a good device for doing this because you hit a button and it's there. But I'm learning this just like you're watching this. I mean, everything's off the cuff, and you're taking an old truck driver and teaching him new tricks with this YouTube stuff. I'm trying to catch up. So like I said, if you want content where there's like a movie involved, or if somebody thinks that they've got to have a music video, they think they're Janet Jackson, hey, that's not me. But there's people out there that can do it. I mean, they've got great little songs and little jingles ahead of their video. I'd like to put my barn door back. I'm going to take some video editing software and do that again, where it just says truck and stuff and it opens up in the front and shuts at the end. I thought that was pretty cool. But then they took away YouTube editor, and I've heard it's coming back. We'll find out. But I'm not, like I said, this is not a videography of anything. It is a legacy, but it's something that's teaching for the most part. And let's see if I can find another song. I had to roll down my window for a second to get some air in here. It's kind of warm. The weather's changed up. It's gotten kind of hot. So this will work. This right here. Alright, roll this back up. And I'll be getting off this thing here in a bit. I just wanted to do a quick little live to tell what's going on with that. It's not the YouTube adpocalypse that they had before, but that's what I was trying to explain before too. Okay, I don't always tag my videos, and I don't always monetize them for the first 60 people or 100 people. They watch them with no ads anyways, simply because I didn't monetize them. I didn't have time to. I drop it like that and then just split. So I'm not making any money off of it. I'm just put it up there. Till later, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm monetized. My people don't watch it, and other people watch it. So other than lives, a lot of times you get to watch them with no ads anyways. Well, there's also a problem, though, where people who are monetized from the get-go are not receiving money, and they're like, why don't I get money off this ad? It's because there's X amount of, for that day for YouTube, there's X amount of commercials that they're being paid for, and they can only put it to so many people. That's another reason they're trying to weed out the bad people that are, you know, putting up full movies that they don't own, putting up other people's stuff, and it's not fair use. And they're you know, people that are putting up bad stuff that shouldn't be up there anyway, not G-rated kind of stuff. So they only have, say they have 50 ads and there's 100 YouTubers. They can't give everybody an ad at that time. So there's people who are monetized who are not even going to get an ad on that video at that time. You might not see an ad. They're putting ads up on mine that are not even skippable at this point. I've seen some crazy stuff on different people's stuff where, you know, it's like a long ad, and you're watching two videos, one for the ad and one for the person. So yeah, there's people that are trying to figure out why they're not getting ads on their videos when they put them up. It's because they only have so many ads to give out for the day. I know it sounds crazy, but that is the truth. YouTube is a difficult nut to crack. They're not clear on stuff. When they put a thing out there that was saying people didn't get paid for a bunch of videos a while back, a couple years ago, they already had not monetize that video for whatever reason, but then they handed them 15 emails at one time that said you didn't get monetized on this one, and people are like, what is this all about? Did I do something wrong? It's old stuff that they had up that they should have already known about. They ain't had time to check their stuff every day, and then they made it look like it happened that day. No, it was already that way. And you can ask for a manual review, by the way, if you get one, and maybe that algorithm was wrong. So there's several different programs that have to do with monetizing a video, checking ad monetization ability, I guess you call it. That's the newest one. And YouTube's trying to keep everything nice and neat, and there's two groups of ad, by the way. There's one that's Disney, if you call it that, and they're going to pay a little more, and you can make your video for that one, or you can make it in group B, where all people across all advertising can be on there. It won't pay quite as much. I leave mine at that setting so they can do whatever they want with it. I don't care. But there's people who are, doing whatever they do that they know is Disney, and I call that G-rated, basically. And they can use the first group. I don't use that. I just put it on all. Like I said, I don't even monetize half my crap, and I don't do tags and thumbnails like I could to make it push more. And I usually don't touch a video after I dropped it for like a couple of days to a week, or to whenever I turn on my laptop. I'm just not that into that part of it. Main thing is there's about 60 drivers that are out there that are relying on me to teach them stuff, and so I've decided that I put videos up. But for the people that are getting cut off, it's really hurting their feelings pretty good. And play this one here. Like I said, YouTube it's a tough thing to get into too. It's a tough nut to crack. But I recommend to everybody that if you think ahead of time, don't worry so much about making revenue. I recommend everybody to get a YouTube channel. But at the same time, I'm going to be on a web page. I'm going to get a podcast set up. I'm also going to be doing lives off of 4 or 5 different platforms at the same time by going live on one. Because it does help. And I'm going to set up a PayPal and all that stuff. That's what I wanted to get into too. I don't have a store for stuff yet because I'm picky. If I'm going to put my name on it, it's got to be perfect. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So I'm picky. But it doesn't mean I don't like the idea of having t-shirts. I'm wanting to have some silver wrenches. I want to make an 8mm wrench out of solid sterling silver, 0.999 silver. So it's a working wrench. I've got to get the tensile strength of it worked out. Maybe I'll have to have it shaped like a straight bar, and then have an opening for a key ring, and then have it come down so you can still use this closed in for an 8mm to disconnect a car battery if it's a side post. That's what I want it to be used for, an emergency side post in case you got a fire, an electric short, you can disconnect your battery. That's what I wanted to use it for, or to put it out there for. And I've already been told, hey man, I want your first one, and I ain't even made it yet. But I don't know if I should silver plate a bunch of good ones and have them made out of steel or something different. Maybe somebody at Craftsman can help me with that. But I was going to go to a jeweler and have like bars melted down and put into it, and then have like a hole for the key ring, and then down here have the other end, so that it works, because it's going to have to be a little thicker than steel so it doesn't fail on you. So a solid sterling silver, and then you have something in there. Let's say like trucking stuff. Maybe I'll even have them engraved. I don't know how I'll do it. I don't know. The price point's got to be less than or right at an ounce of silver, but it'd be a little less than an ounce of silver because they're making them now. But I do want to have t-shirts at some point, and that's what I wanted to bring up. Look, if you have a YouTuber you support, and this is just an example, okay? CGB Gray, but here's an example. This is a YouTuber's. You can only get this by ordering from their store. You know what I'm saying? I support YouTube. I support YouTubers. I'll put a link up to this channel, okay? And so I'm with it on the t-shirts. I don't want to just put something out there though before it's time, and it be like not so much of a novelty or something that's going to be outdated in no time. I like stuff that lasts forever, and I like stuff that's going to be timeless. I'm looking for some timeless things to make, like a silver keychain, you know, a wrench, because that's what I'm teaching, is working on stuff. So I think that's perfect, but I've got to get a bunch of them made because there's going to be a bunch of people kind of want them. So other than that, I'm just going to, like I said, chill back, play some music, and then I'm gonna go off this thing here. I've got to shut down a bit longer, and then I'm gonna have to, at that point, get going. Probably should be starting this thing up and get some air going. It seems like I'm having to roll down my window, and I'm wanting to keep the sound low. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be doing the live on the parts. That's the only way it's gonna work. And you know, like I said, scheduling is the hardest part, and I'm trying to make a decent effort towards what I'm doing, and so that's why I'm going to put up you know, some links to some videos that are relevant, some news links to some other videos I've already put up. I'll spend a little bit of time doing that before I even go live. I've got to crack open my laptop. I just haven't had time to. I've probably got a blue million comments to approve or not approve, because I try to keep it where people aren't, you know, bullying other people on my page, or, you know, starting mess on my page. So I just put my approval only. I don't get a lot of that, but, you know, just to weed them out, just to stop it from happening in the first place, just shut it down, keep it on lockdown. But I let stuff through, you know. Anyways, you want to say something? I feel like I'm talking, you know. If I want to say anything, you go ahead. I'll be getting off this thing here in a bit. I don't mean to ramble by any means, and I've got you know, a little bit of time here. I got another 10 minutes here, and then I will say this: with these companies dropping y'all off on the side of the road, making you homeless, and dropping off like flies, that was a whole nother one. I will bring that to you real quick, and I said it on another live. Flatbed carrier Falcon Transport, you know, they shut down suddenly, but then a second flatbed carrier, Williams Trucking LLC, did the same thing. I don't know if they left their people high and dry, but this was the trucker, and I showed this other day. It says Williams Trucking LLC follows suit. There's the story on Falcon Transport, and we had a congressman get on the floor and actually mention what Falcon did. So, let's see. I will read through this though. On April 27th is when Falcon did it, on a Saturday, and they got like a text or something or whatever. But let's see here. Count stated. Let's see. Looking through it. Where's it continued at? See, we got on page 7. All right. Try to find out when the other one did it, and how many people they left, in case you didn't get the copy of the trucker. Bring it to you, people. Like I said before, you don't have to be a truck driver to get this. This paper's free in every truck stop. From page 1, let's see. This is good bison, I'm saying. Love buffalo and elk. I got an elk too. Let's see here. Ooh, evidently 3 weeks earlier, an office employee suddenly quit. A fellow employee asked management whether there was any danger that the company may be closing, and had been told absolutely not. Whoa! 3 weeks ahead of time, somebody, oh man, they must have known about it 3 weeks ahead of time. That's even dirtier. Falcon Transport knew about it 3 weeks ahead of time, as per page 7 of the trucker. Maybe you could screenshot that. There you go. So Williams Trucking began, let's see, they had 20 company trucks. Maybe it's in 94. Let's see. Another 14 operators. Oh, okay. So it looks like that company, Williams Trucking, had 20 company trucks and employed another 14 owner operators. Let's see. Let's take a look at the funny heads. Who's got the highest per mile? Now, that is the truth. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. The highest per mile now. Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing's a ripoff. Look, I'm telling you that the freight rates ought to be about $4.50 a mile minimum. Local should be like $5.50, $6, whatever, more. So here's what it is. I'm not your financial guru. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to tell you come to this company, it's wonderful, and lease your truck here, and then if I fail, you fail too. And then you're blaming me because I told you about that company and I drug you through the misery I went through, right? I'm not your financial guru. I'm not even going to say it. So that's why, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the truth. Hey, listen, you got to have, if you think I don't have a book with a bunch of companies in, that's the thing. People, if you want to be a truck driver, the first thing, well, there goes my alarm. Hold tight. Got a couple more hours, but hold tight. If you have, the first thing you do when you're a truck driver, fill out an application, keep a copy of it like it's a resume, and then add your current experience with that company to it when you need to, and keep books in your truck for jobs. Look, if you think I don't, I'm just off the cuff. Now, I'm not even lying to you. You think I'm kidding? You want to see the funny papers? I got the funny papers right here. Look. Money, which of course that's funny because they put a picture of a truck and money. No, it's not that bad. Look, opportunities inside. If you think I'm kidding, look, success. You know what? Landstar. Look, all the jobs in here that they're offering. East-West Express, let's see. I don't recommend them. I'm just going through this. I'm not going to talk bad about them. I'm just saying, look, here's the funny papers. You wanted to see them? I got them, brother. You think I'm kidding? That's what you do. Now, let me tell you what you do. If you want to drive a truck for a living, every truck stop in the back has got these books right here, and they've got a bunch of little business cards, okay, with their company names on them that may or may not pertain to you. You just find out which state they're in and whether they will hire you out of that state you're in to work in that state, and whether the freight will get you through where you live at, and whether it pays enough, and whether they're not trying to keep you out for 2, 3, 6 weeks at a time, and all the crap that all their rules and regulations. If you have a pet and you want to keep a pet with you, you got to make sure you have a pet, all that crap. But I'm not your financial guru. I'm not going to tell you which one because look, they're making fun of people right now on YouTube. Oh, you told them to go here and that company folded, or they suck, or whatever. Yeah, I knew ahead of time. I'm smart enough to know you got to be able to see the future in what you do. And I can tell you right now, the last thing I'm going to do is tell somebody what company to go to. They all, just say they all suck. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, Gordo, Osuna, what other? Yeah, I got you. Just doing a little chat, fixing to end it, and you're welcome to watch a replay when it comes up. We're not kicking you out. Nobody gets kicked out. You can sleep right here on the floor, right down on the floorboard. There's plenty of room. Throw a blanket on you. Nobody gets kicked out. But I will be ending the live in a bit. Let's see. Who you want for? Yeah, I'm not gonna say because look. First off, I'm leased to them, and then I like my anonymity. I like being able to walk into a place and not get mobbed by people. Hey, you're that. No, I'm not. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. And if I told you that too, you would think that that's a good viable option, when I would say right now, nobody is paying enough, and there's other better things out there. So what's the percentage they charge you? I'm not going to get into that. I'm leased to a company. It's their tag on the front. I'm running under their authority. However, I do have the ability to have an EIN number, hire people, all that stuff, but I don't. I got a truck that put a hole through the block. It don't run no more. I've got this truck. Look, there's several things I've got going at the same time. So for you to ask where I'm at, I am physically in this truck. There's other trucks happening. And like I said, I'm not your financial guru. I can't even go there. I can't even help you with that part. All I can tell you is the truck stop in there in the back has got those books, like I was just showing, dude, about jobs and stuff. You know what I mean? Running my own flag. Well, I'll tell you what, I can always peel the labels off and fly somebody else's flag, but I get what you're saying. That works if you have contracts, and that depends on where you live. There's a lot of people who would swear by it. A lot of those people have contracts hauling freight out of like rail yards. Okay. Then you have to have the $1 million insurance, or $2 million now, and all that stuff. I know all that. I've been the route of doing my own little thing. I even had my own tag on the front. But the truth is, let me just say this. Let's see, Nissan is cool. They do all the paperwork. Yeah, but you got to make sure they're not going to rip you off. Okay. I'm going to not recommend Prime just because I've had bad things about it. And Pooh Bear, my friend, he went there and they kept him behind and ripped him off. So and you put True. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say. This is one thing that being leased to a company does for me. There's going to be people who have their own authority. They're going to argue with this. But you really can't argue this one thing that, for me, is worth it. Forget about not having to have the couple $1 million insurance. And yeah, you're making money and you're okay, fine. I'm going to say it like this. This is one reason that I run their tag. Okay? Which, if you put a sticker on the side that says not for hire, or peel their labels off, or whatever you do, or even just put PC miles to your house, you can still get home. They're still supposed to get you home. That's a misnomer. Okay. No record company out there is going to become a repo man. They're just not. If you're on private property, they can't mess with you, and you can do what you do. As long as you have fuel, keep fuel in your tanks, you should be able to drive home, log it proper, and all that stuff. I would say, just if you're leaving a company, I would go ahead and turn in their truck, and you could worry about because you can't abandon one, you know what I mean? But let's see. I got robbed my last two. I was leased on to. Lessons learned. LL. Yeah, that's why it's good to go up with a company that's one of the. I'm not going to say mega carrier. I'm not going to say one of the bigger name companies, because those are some of the worst to rip you off. However, a company that has a name that's not going anywhere, so you can sue them while they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? But back to it. The one thing that's good about running their tag is this. Okay. Let's say that you are plated in Florida, for example, or North Carolina, or Texas, or wherever. And here's how you get a tag. You have to go and pay your road use taxes, which is $550 at the IRS building. Then you take that piece of paper and you pay your county tax, okay, of whatever. Then you take that piece of paper and you go to the state IRP licensing place, show that you have proof of your $550 road use tax, and that you have your county taxes paid, and then you pay for the tag. So one day is spent at the IRS office, and the second day that you're not running and not generating revenue, okay, at 600 miles a day minimum, you know, you're talking about $2,400 in a couple of days, $1,200 a day, whatever your revenue, whatever you're generating, that you're not making, all to save maybe, actually you're not even going to save. Here's why. You spent 2 days. You got your own tag. Oh, that's my tag. Okay, let's see. What's your haul? 53-foot van. All kinds of stuff that I can't talk about. So, here's the thing. So let's say that you just spent 2 days to get that tag, and then you got a tag, right? Well, your tag in your state probably cost you $1,800, $2,000, where I hear you. No, cigars. I got cigars. Just Cubans and well, for the most part, Dominican, that kind of stuff. At that point, you have just wasted 2 days of your time that you could have been making revenue, or you could have been off. Either way, you really weren't off. And then on top of that, a company you're leased to, a lot of times, they will open up a post office sized building in Illinois and get plated out of Illinois because it's like $1,000 for that tag. Okay? Or a lot of people office in Jacksonville, Florida, for tax reasons. They will plate their trucks out of also Illinois, and there's another state up there, and it's cheaper for them. So if they're passing those savings on to you, which they do, instead of paying $1,600, $1,800, or $2,000 for a tag out of your state, you can get their tag for $1,000 or $1,100, and you've been working those 2 days. So really, those 2 days you paid for the tag. That's the one thing. That's just one of the reasons that I lease to a company. The second is not having to have the couple $1 million insurance, and they've got you covered. So, like I said, I personally I would rather lease to another company. That's just me. Everybody's different, because there's going to be people that say, oh, I've got contracts here and this stuff. Here's the thing. You can't drop and hook like I can 24/7. You know what I mean? So for me, I like being able to pick up a load at point A that's 24/7 drop and hook, and there's a gate guard there that gives me my paperwork and I leave. And then 24/7 later, especially because of these computer logs, whenever I get there is whenever I deliver. Then I go to the next one that's 24/7 drop and hook, and I've just dropped a trailer and picked up a trailer, dropped another trailer, picked up another trailer, and dropped another trailer. I'd have dropped 3, 4, 5 trailers I done did dropping hooks on. None of them are mine. If there's an issue, I can go to the next one and have that one fixed. I can have them bring me a trailer. I can go get a different trailer, leave that one in the shop. I'm not tied to something that's going to stop me from making money. If you have your own authority, you have to have your own trailer. A lot of times, if you had your own, like I said, if you have your own authority, you're not going to be on with a company that's got trailers. So you got your own trailer. So you're stuck with another variable, and freaking 70 to 90% of the time, it's the trailer that's broke. And I'll explain that. If you ask yourself this question as a trucker, start here. How many tires have you blown in your entire career? You might say thousands, hundreds. Well, okay. How many were on the trailer and how many were on the tractor? Oh, well, I never blow tires on the tractor. Okay, so it's always the trailer, right? So if you have an issue, a breakdown with brakes on the trailer and all these problems with trailers, why would you want to own one? So like I said, everybody's different. People are going to beat me up. Oh, I own my own trailer. Okay, great. That's why I'm not nobody's financial guru. I'm telling you what I do is I like to be able to take the higher, it's not even 50% of the problem with a trailer. It's about 90% of the problem with a trailer. It's always the trailer. Always. You get a hole in a trailer, you got to fix it. Brakes smoked on a trailer, you got to get new brakes. Wheel bearing, it's a trailer. Tire recap blows, it's a trailer, which I run virgin rubber on all my tires on my tractor, but on the trailer you can't help it. But running especially super singles on a trailer, those are expensive. I'm practical, and I run things mathematically, and I do a cost benefit analysis. Mathematically, you are more likely to have problems with your trailer than your tractor. And then you buy one that's a bum trailer. Okay, look, don't get me started. I can show you videos where one guy bought a reefer unit. There was problems with reefer, all this stuff. It's not for me to own a trailer ever. And so I might as well be leased to a company. That's all there is to it. Unless you're going to lease a new trailer. And then when you get a hole in it, you're still doing trailer repairs. When you have a problem with it, you're still doing trailer repairs. Door hinges, door seals. There was a problem where it caused damage to the cargo because of water. Then you're liable. I'm not liable with that. It's the company's trailer. I'm insured against that. So if you're not going to have your own trailer, why would you have your own authority? So that puts me in the box I'm in. Because I'm against having my own trailer, I will always be leased to someone. Some people, and like me, I don't go to California. I don't go to New York City. Different places, there's too many regulations against drivers. There's great people out there, beautiful scenery, but even people on YouTube, they do a video, hey, look, I'm in California. And then 3 weeks later, they're doing the same video in California, but it's saying, they just ripped me off the scale house, I'm never coming back here again. They ripped me off and they lied about this and there wasn't nothing wrong with my truck and whatever. They had a stack of papers sitting right there and that's what they were writing up that day, and it's all fake. So where does that leave you? If you listen to them, it leaves you not going to California. If you listen to all the truck drivers ever, they'll say don't go to California. It doesn't matter about the people. It doesn't matter about the view. It doesn't matter about the fuel prices, even though they're high. It doesn't matter about the freight. It matters about how you're treated. So I wouldn't be treated well if I had my own trailer either. I'm not going to spend the rest of my days just making a little bit more having your own trailer stuck in a mechanic shop. I'm against the wrecker. I'm against the mechanic. So if you break down with a trailer event and it's your trailer, you can't just say, hey, take this trailer somewhere and get me another trailer and I'll get rolling again. You don't have that ability. So like I said, I'm not nobody's financial guru. I'm not going to tell you where to go. I'm going to tell you what works for me. What I'm doing is a little different. And so I'm not going to take you down a road that might not work for you. You might need your own authority. You might mentally be in a block where you're like, if I don't have my own authority, I'm not doing anything for myself. Okay, great. You're an owner operator and you're going to have your own authority and you're going to be able to say, hey, look, I've got my name on the door and my company. Okay, great. And then when you're retired, you're just as retired as another guy that was a company driver, truthfully. But if you feel like you needed to do that in your career, I highly suggest that's what you do. It's all in what you make on Friday. Make a check by Friday. You're good. If you're not good, go somewhere else. So what I can bring to you is how to work on it. There's a lot of owner operators that don't know how to work on it. There's people that you can get out there and get your own authority and be broke down as everybody else. And if you don't know the knowledge I know, you're more stuck than I am. You know what I mean? I have the ability to go out and do that. I choose not to because I figure that's another variable against me. If you take everything as a mathematical equation, if you have your own authority and the economy goes bad, you can't find freight, or the company that you put all your eggs in one basket and you're hauling for one company, they go under. Most of these companies, their freight, even if it's car stuff, look at what happened. Falcon Transport went under, the whole company went under because they had that mentality of let's just haul for car things and that'll be our thing. And then they closed that plant up. They were stamping out, metal, I think it was bodies or frames or something I think it was a Chevy Cruze. They closed down that plant. They're doing something different. They moved, and now Falcon was just hauling for them. And then they tried to haul some crappy freight that didn't pay them nothing off a regular board. They knew they couldn't make no money like that. And there you go. They went out of business under that business model. If you have a business model that could go out of business because you have all your eggs in one basket, you're doing yourself a disservice when that happens. Because what are you going to do then? You know what you're going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to go lease your truck to a company that has freight. A company is only as good as its contract. So let's say you're an owner-operator. Let's say you have your own authority and you've got a really great working relationship with a guy who's 80 years old and he's got his own company, and then he passes away. But his kids take over the company. But his kids never liked you in the first place. Guess what? You're out. You don't have that freight to haul no more. Or if they decide to sell the company to make their cash money real quick, you're out. You don't have that contract no more. Then you're searching, fishing for other... Look, you may have 3 or 4 baskets. There's only so much freight. It's a balloon. You squeeze it on one end, it inflates on the other. So if you can start a trucking company today, you're competing with everybody out there, and there's no more freight for you going to be generated. You just generated another person to compete with everybody else. So if you have your own authority and you think you're going to go out there and undercut Schneider and all them and JB Hunt, they're in the undercutting business. They'll undercut themselves. They'll lose money on runs just to have freight to move, and then jack them up later or cut the driver's pay and rip them off. That's what they've been doing for a long time. That's why freight rates are so low. So, like I said, I'm nobody. Just don't even take any of this as anything but conjecture and, speculative information. Let's see. Now's the worst time to start a company or even own a truck. I'll agree with that. Every year from now until the end of time, it gets worse every year. I'll agree with that. However, it still pays more than flipping burgers. Nothing against anybody. I've done it. But do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I wouldn't want to have my own authority and be trying to get, oh, look, I'm going to haul your freight for what? Okay, the minute you're late, the minute there's a breakdown, the minute they're going to kick you to the curb, and then you lost that contract. Look, if I was doing my own thing, let's see, 2017, 2018 was good times. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you are going to haul containers off a rail yard, I did that for a bit. I'll go back to it. If you're going to haul containers off a rail yard and you know where you're going to go and how you're going to do what, there's nothing wrong with having your own authority and getting linked up with that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That don't exist everywhere, though. So if you're mentally thinking everyone should work your program and do what you're doing, first off, anybody that does that will never tell you who they're getting the freight from, because they know if you undercut them, then they just lost their job. They'll never help you to the point. They will help you, but they're not going to give away their game plan. They will never, ever step out and say, they'll say, oh, you should have your own authority. You should be an owner-operator. You should do this. Okay, great. Well, tell me who you got your contract through. That's when they shut up. It's when they clam up and they quit talking. Why? Because they know there's only so many loads coming out of there, and if you live next to them or down the street from them or in the same town or city and you can compete with them, they don't want to tell you about that job, because then you just took their job. You may be, more energetic, have more time off, not have to have off holidays, whatever, and then you could take that contract from them completely. Yes, you are right about that. Oh, I know I'm right about that, dude. I got no reason to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Let me open this door up and just get some air in. I'm going to tell you the truth about stuff, and I'm going to tell you, and I challenge anyone out there to tell me different by showing me where your contract is and showing the whole world that if they go to that guy, that they can take that freight and do exactly what you're doing. So either you're actually trying to help people and tell them about their finances, or you're going to be like me and you're going to say from the get-go, I'm not your financial guru. I'm not even going to try to play that game. I'm not going to tell you how to be successful in trucking, because anybody who's wanting to really tell you about how to be successful in trucking would tell you the phone number to someone that they're getting freight from and say, you go talk to him and he'll give you a load tomorrow. You go talk to this guy and he'll get you in a truck tomorrow, and you can be competing with me on Monday. Debunk that. I dare you to try. So for anybody out there who's got a channel on YouTube and says, I am going to teach you how to economically run a business in trucking, I challenge them to say, this is where I pick up my freight. I go from point A to point B. They pay me this amount of money. They give me this much fuel surcharge, and you can go down there and call this number and he will sign you up tomorrow. They will never do it, because that's competing with them, and that's the balloon, and they squeeze on one end and it comes up on the other, but it's the same freight, the same thing, and they don't want to cut their own throat. So don't let them lie to you. They may give you tips on things. They may tell you where to get cheaper fuel, this or that, but they're never going to help you to the point where you're competing against them and it cuts their own throat. Because you're already competing with them as being a truck driver, really, technically, but no, I don't feel that way. I'm like anybody who's going to get into trucking. When you get a CDL, that's when you need to watch my channel. because I'll teach you mechanically how to not be, because it helps me. If you're on the side of the road and you're broke down and I'm in traffic because of it, that's holding me up. So my bottom line is better if you're running. That's how I see it. Now, you might say, well, if I'm running, I'm competing with you. Not so much. You know what I mean? Not so much. We're getting things moving. You may be bringing parts to a company and they're putting it on a car, and then I might wind up hauling cars out of that company to the other place, and I need you to take that stuff there in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Everything's reciprocal. Everybody helps everybody out. We are all working together to make this big machine turn. But the people that are out there who are saying, you need to have your own authority, you need to do this, I'm telling you, they will never tell you the phone number to the company where they get their contract, where they get their freight from day to day. They'll never say, I'm hauling for this man right here and he's paying this much a mile and you can go down there and talk to him and he'll do the same thing for you. They'll never tell you that. I never built a channel on that. I never will. So I'm honest to the point that I won't tell you I'm going to make you financially stable and then not give you the tools to do it. So if you're leased to a company, you don't have to worry about where the contract comes from. Also, they've got freight for you and you choose from it. So that's another reason that I'm leased to a company. You see what I'm saying? So really, I just told you right there what I do. You can lease to any company and do the exact same thing I'm doing. No one out there with contracts will tell you that much of where they're getting their freight from and what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? So, it depends on where you live for what company you want to get into. But like I said, you limit yourself if you have your own trailer. You just make just a little bit more per load. To me, it doesn't even cover tires. I was with Landstar, it didn't cover tires. It wasn't worth it. If you have a step deck and you're with them, then they'll pay you to have that run across into Mexico, and you can run a van in the meantime in their system, lease that van from them for however much percentage per load, and your step deck's making money in Mexico. That's a pretty good plan. I did that. I did other stuff. That's a good plan to run. What I do is different now, and so I will at some point put my other truck back on that, do something like that. Right now, I'm running this one. It's a little bit different, you know. So, am I going to tell you, go buy a truck until it messes up, go somewhere else, buy 3 other trucks, put a couple drivers in them, and be like me? No, I'm not. You got to be like you, man. You got to do you. So, and as far as being a financial guru, I'm not your guy. But I can tell you that 90% of your expenses, well, I'll tell you this, 50% to 60% of your expenses is fuel. The rest of it's maintenance, and I can help you save so much on maintenance it's not even funny, just by knowing how to fix your own truck. So financially that way, I'm helping you more than you can handle. More than they can teach you in trucking school. They can't possibly teach you all the stuff that I've got in Fix It Vids and Trucking Tips right now, and I got a lot more to go in there. They can't possibly teach you that in trucking school. That's why they don't even try. Yeah. Anyway, this is good. Man, look, these Epic bars, people, I'm telling you, I'm not sponsored by this company, but if you want some Buffalo, it says Bison on it, and I just tore that up. Anyway, just chilling. Fixing to check out some more of this mess here. But yeah, they laid off some people with that company, though, getting back into this. I tore them up on Twitter, by the way, Falcon Transport. Told them. They put hashtag money and this and that. I put, yeah, how about sending some of that hashtag money to your drivers that you left stranded there, Falcon Transport. Anyway, whatever. They suck. I would never do that anyway. You got to take care of your hands. You know, they're responsible for them. They ain't act like they know. Act like you know. So, fixing to have water and then get off this thing. But yeah, there's reasons for everything I do, and one reason I'm not going to tell you a company to go to is because It might be great for me today, but it might be garbage for me tomorrow, and I don't want it to be garbage for you the next day. And then I've done took you down a bad road. These people will take you down a bad road just to get a sign-on bonus. Now, I was going to help Pooh Bear out. Pooh Bear, he did it different. Went to Prime and they ripped him off. He kept staying behind. It was bad. I can't believe the way they did him. So I'm just going to put that out there. That's just true. You know, it is what it is. I think he's running concrete now, but I got to give him a call. But anyway, yeah, I can't tell you the company to choose, but I can tell you, you can call them all and you can ask them their freight rates, and you put it down on a notepad. You just take a piece of paper. Look, it's real simple. Get you a notebook, right? Start with a blank page, man. And this is what you do if you want to find out the best company to go to, right? You start out with a notepad, a blank piece of paper, and at the very top, these are the questions you need to ask them, okay? And you write this stuff down, okay? You write down if they're hiring in your state, how much they pay per mile, how much their sign-on bonus is. Make sure you ain't got to put no money down on the truck if you're buying a truck like that, or how they do it for the lease purchase, if that's what you're trying to do. You know, you might go to somewhere. I wouldn't say don't go to Lone Mountain, whatever you do. I've heard, man, add some mechanical stuff on that. And I don't even recommend the select trucks from Freightliner, but you might find a gem in there. I'd say get one that's just been blown up and just been rebuilt. Same price as the one across the street, but it's got a warranty and a new clutch, a new engine, that kind of stuff. That's what I did. So, anyways, and go further. You put, you know, do they have a pet policy if you got a pet that you want to have with you or whatever? Do they have a rider policy? Do they have inward facing, forward facing camera crap, or whatever they're trying to do to you? What kind of, you know, all the things that are important to you, write on a list. Put it on 15 pieces of paper, call 15 companies, and the one that's hiring near you, that's the best one that you like, go there and try them out. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. That's what I would have to do. If I was looking for another job, that's what I would have to do. You know, will they sign on your truck if you have a truck already? Because that's the problem with a lot of us owner operators. Is you got to think, if you got an older truck, 90s model truck, some companies require that it's newer than that, even though it's up to snuff and it's got a new engine and everything else. They don't care. They got rules that they have to have a newer truck. Can you have a glider kit with the company? Can you run in that state? If they send you to California and you've got a glider kit, you can't run in California because you don't meet emission standards. There's so much stuff you got to know that I can't possibly put in a video. I can't put in 100 videos, but make a list of everything that pertains to you that you can think of, and then ask them even more questions, and then see how many days is the orientation and how long before you get your first check. Some companies hold 2 weeks before you ever get a check. You got to know all that stuff, you know, whatever pertains to you. And there may be a good paying company that's perfect and everything, but they might be in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they only haul in that area and they only run local, and you'd be home every night, but you live in Jacksonville, Florida. That's not going to do. That's not going to work, and they're not going to hire you because of it. Even if you said you're going to fly home all the time, they won't hire you in the first place. So to find the perfect company, it matters where you live. It matters how long you're willing to stay on the road or what they're trying to put on you. It matters how much they pay per mile. Like I said, I'm not your financial guru for that reason. You are your financial guru. You're the one that knows the answers. You just don't know it yet. Ask the right questions and you'll get the right answers. That's the best advice anybody will ever give you. You know, so other than that, go with what you believe will help you out. I would say that, like I said, there's a lot of these companies out here that are starter companies that because they pay so low, and There's nothing wrong with working for one for a bit if you've got a truck that need parts and you're trying to save up for that. But there's a lot better paying companies out there. Call them all. You know, there's a guy on YouTube that calls companies and sees how much they pay per mile and makes fun of them for it and stuff. You could call them up and write down all what they have to offer, and you know, some of them are going to become a joke to you. Keep that in your head. They're not going to change. They're not going to up their prices just because 2 years later you need a job. Don't go backwards. Go forward. You know. But I'm going to get off this thing. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. Let's see. The last comment was, yes, you're right about that. Yeah. And thank you, Icon. Thank y'all for showing up. I just wanted to say that I'm doing what I can to put out, you know, my lives. I'm going to work on putting them out at a more of a regular pace here. Have a good night. Yeah, you too, bud. So I'll try to put out them at some kind of a regular time, either in the morning or late in the afternoon or even in noon. It's like 3 times a day. I could do it early in the morning, midday at lunch, or late at night. And I will try to put up some kind of a notification on YouTube that says I'm going live in a bit. Because I was doing it on Twitter, but my people on Twitter ain't always here. So what I'll try to do is like take a snapshot of something and saying trying to go live by this time. I'll try to give you some kind of heads up because people do like to be in the room, and I get it. At the same time, before I didn't know if I could get streamed, and I was always saying if I could get streamed. Now I know I can hit a button and it gives me instant internet, so I'll do better about my lives. And I see another one just came in the room, and I'm fixing to get out of the room. So y'all stay safe. I'm getting off this thing. You can watch the replay, just a little chat. And tomorrow night will be about parts. Icon, if you got ideas on parts, anybody's got ideas on parts, I'll probably cover every single one of them and more. And then I'll go on tools on a different one because you need tools too. But I'll include like jumper cables and stuff like that on this one. But physical, there's some different tools that you gotta go over. One of them, like I said, even to get into the glove box, to get into your fuse box, you know, is a Torx bit. So we'll get into some tools later. So that'll be another live for another night. But parts, spare parts. We'll holler at y'all later. I'm gonna get off this thing. I'll probably try to put in a notification when I know about what time it'll be, and I'll try to do a live at that time. So I'm out. Peace.